Sup you guys, ASD Classified here, and I'm gonna do a review of episode 9, Power Rangers Dino Charge, when logic fails. Because logic failed quite a bit in this episode. Okay, so the plot of this episode was a monster named Puzzler trapped the Rangers in this abandoned laboratory. Like, he turned the laboratory into this big old maze, right? And the Rangers got separated from each other. And then Riley, because he's super duper smart, you guys, he was able to get out. And then he eventually helped the other Rangers get out. And then they killed the monster, and that was the end of this episode. This episode spent quite a bit of time trying to tell you how smart Riley is, and okay, like, it's not a bad thing. Like, I don't care that Riley's one of the super duper smart Rangers. It's just some of this dialogue, I don't know, man. It came off as corny. And again, not that the corniness is a bad thing. It's just that he's sitting up here talking about how, you know, all the sides of a triangle eventually, like, equals 180, and the square root of 69 is 8 something, right? Because I've been trying to work it out. It's like, okay, so yeah, that's true, but what does this have to do with getting out of a maze? I don't know. Like, you know, science and math was never really my strong suit. I was more of a history and English person, so maybe I'm just missing it. But it's like, we're trying to get out of a maze while we're talking about triangles. Okay, so this episode, like, the stuff with Riley, I don't really care about that. That's not my problem with this episode. My problem really is just the villain plot, I guess, and how the Rangers reacted to it. So, yeah, the monster, Puzzler, he trapped the Rangers in this maze, right? Like, he used his powers to change everything in this abandoned laboratory. Like, he would use his magic to hide, like, exits. Like, he would turn a door to look like a wall, or he would change where the exit points. Like, the exit is this way, but he makes it point that way. Or he would mess with the stairs so the Rangers keep traveling up the same floor and stuff. Okay, that's fine. That's funny. What? Oh yeah, and the monster also messed with the thermostat so that the place was like freezing and the Rangers would eventually freeze to death in there. Alright, so the monster did all this. So the Rangers, they realized that, hey, we're trapped in here. We can't get out. No matter what we do, we're just trapped, right? So what do the Rangers do? Well, 4 out of 5 of them just sit there waiting to freeze to death. Riley, because he's the super duper smart one, he found a vent. And he used, like, the vent to get out of the building. So, okay, whatever. The rest of them, just a bunch of dummies, okay? Bunch of dummies. It's like, y'all are just gonna sit there and freeze to death. Need I remind you, and I shouldn't have to remind you guys of this, but you're Power Rangers. At no point in time did you say, hey, let's morph, you know? I mean, you would probably still feel some of the coldness, but your power suits are supposed to protect you. So you're not going to freeze to death, you know? That's the first thing I would have done as a Power Ranger. Okay, it's morphing time. Second thing, after I morphed, I probably would have used all of my super awesome weapons, because I have quite a bit of them. I would have used those to blast a hole in the wall and escape. Okay? And this is why this plot is stupid to me. It's just, the Rangers, because they're fucking Rangers, could have easily escaped from this. But no, it was best to sit there and catch frostbite. I'm like, ugh. And this episode just reminded me of a couple of episodes from Mighty Morphin. Like, you guys remember that time that Rita trapped 3 of the Rangers in a storybook? Yeah. So, at one part in that episode, Tommy, Kim, and Rocky, they were trapped in the storybook, right? And they ended up in a snowstorm. And they almost froze to death. And the first thing that Tommy and the others thought to do was morph. But they couldn't morph because their morphers had already frozen. Okay? I could have bought something like that. If they would have used that in this episode, then I would be okay. That's why they didn't morph. Like, their little guns had froze. So they can't morph. Okay? Well, no, I probably wouldn't even have bought that, because in episode 1 of Dino Charge, a monster froze Tyler and Shelby in their inner gems. Unfroze them. So I wouldn't even have bought that. So that brings up another point. Why are the Rangers even freezing to death in the first place? Their energy should have warmed them up. Okay. Second episode of Mighty Morphin that this Dino Charge episode reminded me of was the episode where Alpha was evil. And evil Alpha trapped the Rangers in an abandoned theater. So you remember in this abandoned theater, don't ask me where this theater came from, but you remember in this theater, the theater blocked the Rangers' powers. Like, they couldn't use any of their powers. They were morphed, but they couldn't call on their weapons or do anything. They could have borrowed that in this episode. I think that probably would have helped more. If the puzzler has these somewhat godlike powers to block the Rangers' energy powers, then I probably would have bought this more. Like, oh crap, I'm freezing. It's morphin' time. I can't morph. I think I would have bought that a little better. That probably would have helped us out. But there was no dialogue in this episode saying that the Rangers couldn't morph and that they couldn't use their powers to get out of this. So really, they're just being dummies. Like I said, I don't know. I get it. I get that this episode is supposed to be silly and fun, but that doesn't mean it has to be stupid. It's like, there's no reason that the Rangers couldn't morph their way out of this. Yeah, that bothered me the whole episode. Other than that, I guess the episode was what it was, I guess, you know. I mean, Fury found a way to find the Pterosaur, and yeah, he somewhat controls it. Progress. On a positive note, I kind of liked the monster. He was a little funny at times. Like, after he had trapped the Rangers in the abandoned laboratory, like, he's just sitting there chilling with shades on, and the motherfucker is literally drinking a margarita. Like, are you kidding me? Like, oh my god, he is over here sipping on a margarita and got shades on, man. That was crazy. And then once Riley got out, Riley, like, held his little sword up against the monster and was, like, threatening the monster, like, you let my friends go, or I'm gonna end you right here and now. And the monster was just like, yeah, cut the bullshit. You are not going to kill me. If you do that, your friends are dead. So yeah, there's not much else I can say about this episode. Oh, except for that there was a scene where Miss Morgan had contacted Riley, and Riley, you know, informed Miss Morgan about what was going on. He told her that, yeah, the other Rangers are trapped in there. I managed to get out, and Fury has now charged the Terror Charger, and he's about to find the Pterosaur and stuff. And Miss Morgan pretty much told Riley to fuck the Rangers and just go stop Fury. Like, just forget the Rangers, forget all about the Rangers, and stop Fury from finding the Pterosaur. It's like, my god, Miss Morgan, the Rangers are literally freezing to death right now. Shelby got them short shorts on, like, you know her legs are about to break off, and you are just saying, nah, fuck those guys, we don't need the Rangers. The most important thing, the most logical thing is to stop Fury. Oh my god. And then, at the end of this episode, because Riley isn't a dick, so he decides to save his friends and forget all about what Miss Morgan was telling him. So Riley saved his friends. And at the end of this episode, Keeper was talking to Riley, and Keeper said, look, going after Fury might have been the most logical decision. And then Miss Morgan chimes in and says, but it wouldn't have been the best decision. Bitch! No, you don't get to come in here and chime in like you on Keeper's side. You are the one that told Riley to stop Fury and forget all about the Rangers. You told him that. You don't get to then say, oh, you made the right decision, Riley. Bitch! No. Oh, Miss Morgan, man. Oh my god. Okay, this episode. Now, I didn't hate it, but I didn't think it was that great either, honestly. I guess I'll give it a 2 out of 5. Really it's kind of like a 2.5 out of 5, but I really don't like to add that point stuff in. I want to keep it whole numbers, and I can't really round that to a 3, so 2 out of 5, I don't know. So if you're watching this video, like, what did you think about the episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was meh? Let me know in a comment if you would be so kind. Alright, later you guys. Jamata.